So why do you guys think that nowadays talking stages never like lead anywhere? Like, why is there so many failed talking stages?
Right, let me say something here. It's about to get real dark. The reason why talking stages fail is merely because the access that we have to that one person. We have access through social media. We have access through phones. Now, let me tell you something. It doesn't mean that our relationships with our grandmas, it was perfect because they're still together for 50 years. Let me tell you something. My grandma actually told me that my granddad was doing the dirty on her. My granddad was doing the dirty. And listen, anyway, let me not go too much into that. People are brought up to be different. Generations have differed. Hence why we're more outspoken than our parents were ever were. That's so women true. Was to be seen
and not
be heard.
Yeah.
Now, growing up, our generation literally wants to be heard, women or no women. Like, we have the same we're equal in everybody's eyes. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can accomplish the same jobs that men do. So therefore, why must I now come and suffer and be quiet because my man is the one holding up the household? Never.
Yeah.
Never.
So you're basically saying women are now able to speak out and say, you know what, I don't like this, and leave.
Exactly. Okay. Women have a voice, and we've always had the same abilities as men, but they were never supposed to be like, you would never, because if you were seen like a woman that's so outspoken back in like, let's say the 40s, they'd be like, this woman is disrespectful, she's ABC, do you know what I mean? She's a harlot, that's why she'll never get married, ABC. But now it's kind of like, nah, bro, like that's not on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hence why these couples have stayed together for such a long time, and they've managed to pull through whatever, gone over the hurdles or whatever that they were going through. But now because we have social media, the next lady could literally just come and say, I've got your mans and you got nothing to do. You can't do nothing about it. Yeah. And that will rile me up the wall. I promise you. Ooh, child.
Yeah. Charmaine, you want to say something?
As well, do you know, like back in the olden days and stuff, like when they were like, oh, the men's the breadwinner, or this or that, like in my head, I was always like, I want to be the main breadwinner, regardless of whatever. But then I feel like with my last relationship, I feel like everything needs to be equal now. I don't want to be the main.
You change your mind, innit?
I don't want to be the main breadwinner. I think everything.
And why is that?
I don't know. I feel like because I'm more of a giver. And I feel like
people take advantage.
Yeah, they take advantage.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Do you ever feel like you're overpowering your man sometimes?
What do you mean?
So let's say your man does his job, whatever. He's getting money, and you guys are putting two towards rent, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I feel like men get intimidated by a lady
definitely
that has her own stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like now it's kind of like men will actually leave you for that. Actually, that's facts. Men will leave you.
They will.
Because one thing I noticed about my ex is he never wanted me to express the fact that I'm doing so and so, I want to do so and so, I want to go build back at home, I want to do this, I want to save up. He starts getting intimidated and then starts arguing with me just because. Do you know what I mean?
That is a great point.
They'll turn around to you and say, oh, you're trampling all over the male ego. Listen, your ego should be strong enough to understand that your woman is working the same way you're working, and sometimes she might be getting more bread than you. You need to understand, like, if you have so much self-confidence within yourself, you should understand and appreciate the fact that your woman's working. Because again, if now I decide I want to be a housewife and I'm just taking money off this man will turn around to me and say, you're just rinsing my money, you never do anything around it. So it's like, I can never win.
You can't win. You cannot win.
So men do get threatened by strong women, and I'm sorry to say there's gonna be more stronger women.
But to be honest as well, like with obviously them being threatened by like strong women, it's pushed me back a bit. Like obviously, like with your man, you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, my business is going so well. Like sometimes I just don't want to tell them because evil eye is real.
Evil eye, right?
Who's praying for your downfall? It might even be the person that like.
But then,
next to.
If you feel the need not to tell your man something, that man shouldn't be
about
your man.
Your own progress. Exactly. He should not be your man.
If your man is literally putting you down about your own progress, you should never ever be with that guy. That's the biggest red flag. You should be like, really well, if you don't like it, you know where to go. The door's right there. Like, I'm not holding you hostage. Do you know what I mean? But then again, I feel like some men just literally just want to sit at home and eat your money.
Literally. And like adding on to what you said before about how men will these days will genuinely leave you if you're an independent woman, that is so true. If they see that you genuinely don't need them to do anything, for like if you do your own stuff, you pay for your own car insurance, you pay for your own car, you pay your rent yourself, you literally, they are just there, but you don't need them. Do you know what I mean? You want them there, but you don't need them there. If financially you're cool. Men don't like that. I feel like it really eats away at their egos to know that the woman that they're with doesn't need anything from them. And especially when you remind them, listen, mate, like I don't need you for nothing. They don't like that.
But you know, one thing that I do not like is you express that, I don't need you, A, B, C, D, and it's kind of like, why not? Why don't you need me? But when I do need you, you're never there. So
exactly.
I've had to pick myself up. I've had to adapt. I've had to go out there and get my money on my own, because I noticed that if you ask somebody to do something, they'll never do it the way you want it to get done. So you'd rather do it yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you gotta have that mentality. If you're gonna go in a relationship, look at the guy that you're gonna go with. Look if the guy is willing to be there for you. Not even financially, like emotionally as well, because jobs do get on people's nerves and stuff. So if you come home and you're like, oh babe, do you know what happens in work? I don't care. Nobody told you to pick that job. I told you to stay at home and do this. But when I'm at home, you're literally abusing me and dangling your little £5 that you're earning over my head. Do you know what I mean?
Another question I wanted to actually find out as well is, do you guys think that your idea of relationships and what a healthy relationship should be, do you guys kind of learn that early from your parents? Like, for example, my mom is quite a very independent woman. Like, she does her own thing. She makes her own money. Like, she's very, very independent from... I can't remember how old I was when I first noticed it, but if you guys know my mom, you know what she's like. She's very independent. She's got all her stuff together. She knows what she's doing. And I feel like at the same time, because I've watched her do that for so many years, I'm automatically the same. Like, she doesn't rely on no man, or like, she obviously takes help, but she doesn't rely on anyone, no person, no woman, no man to actually do anything for her. She's the type of person to go out and do it for herself, because she hates when people mess up her stuff in it. And I feel like at the same time, I feel like that's what I'm like as well. I'm a very independent person. I'm very confident in my shoes. I go out and do my own thing, and at the same time, I feel like I've learned that from my mum.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like you can relate?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think most advice comes from parents.
Exactly.
The way you think, you manifest it from your parents. You watch how relationships have gone wrong, and you sort of learn from that. It's a learning curve, you know. And your parents, like, believe it or not, when they come to you and say, oh, that guy's not right for you, A, B, C, D, more time, listen to them. They know what they're talking about. Because again, let's not forget, our parents was once our age.
They know what they're talking about.
They've seen it all before.
They know it.
So they want to, like, guide us. And I think it took me a while to actually understand what I was like, are you sabotaging me? What is it that you want from me? But then, like, the words that she's sticking in my head right now is like, you don't judge a guy by what he has, or, you know, the first impression of a guy is never something that you should judge. Do you know what I mean? Like, you should take time to know your person and then establish whether you want to move on with that relationship or not. You know what I mean? So it's a case of, we definitely do manifest some things of our parents. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
I don't see anything wrong with it. If I could be like anyone, I would choose my mom.
You could literally be anyone, and I think my mom is one of the strongest people I've ever come across. Do you know what I mean? Because she's gone through so much, but she's like managed to bounce back. And me growing up, if you ask me who I want to be just like my mom. In terms of, like, spiritually, emotionally, financially, like, do you know what I mean? Business wise, having business ideas, ABC. So definitely, you get it off your parents, but then again, you get it off other people around you. It's like that influence around you as well.
Like society, and stuff.
All right, cool. I'm about to play a song. We're gonna go on a quick music break, and when we're back, we're gonna be talking about red flags. Because, we'll be talking about red flags. If you guys are tuned in, make sure you're writing in and letting us know what you guys think, because I will read them all out in the end. And we are back. The time is 6:05, so we only have just less than an hour left. If you guys were tuned in before, we were having a little girl talk. We were talking about whether you should stay loyal during the talking stage, and the overall answer was no, right?
Never.
no.
Yeah, no. So I did mention the next topic. I wanted to talk about red flags. So if you guys are listening and you're probably thinking, what is a red flag? Red flags is like kind of like, just little signals and signs that you kind of notice about someone when you're during the talking stage. Even relationships, you can have red flags in it.
Yeah.
So my first question is, why do we as people ignore red flags?
Because we like that person. Easy to ignore a red flag when you like that person. If you vibe with that person from the minute that you met them, so many red flags will pop up. So many red flags will pop up, and you're just gonna ignore it and hope for the best.
I feel like as well, you don't realise that they're red flags until after you've left that situation.
Yeah, after
'Cause
you've,
sometimes it may just be amber flags, or it may just be a flag.
Never. There's never there's no
Girl
such
said
thing
the
as an amber flag.
What
It's
is wrong
always
with
I
you?
don't
red,
know,
bro.
like something you can just like justify and be like, oh, okay, maybe. I don't
Listen,
know, but
if your heart feels some type of way, I believe my intuition with 100%. My intuition will tell me something is wrong.
Yeah,
100%.
Definitely.
So we ignore red flags simply because we really like that person and we're trying to progress with them.
that's true.
And at the end of the day, there's no person on this earth that will never not have red flags. Do you know what I mean? There's always going to be red flags, but there's certain red flags that you cannot look past.
yeah.
You get me?
What kind of red flags do you think you can't look past though?
If someone's ex is still in their life,
Somebody's
yeah.
ex is still
that is a
in their
big
life.
X for me. No.
Second of all, if this man appears to just be carrying this baggage and just hovering it all over the gaff,
Right.
bad energy is a big red flag that you need to look out for, because what makes you think this man is going to change for you? If you met
Yeah.
that man that
and he's
way,
got bad vibes.
he's not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's true.
you know what? Let me give him a benefit of the doubt. Probably 99.9% men will probably change. I don't know, but it's never going to be the full impact that you're expecting. Do you know what I mean? So I think red flags usually come up in the talking stage.
Yeah.
100%. That person has some sort of bad vibes about them, but you choose to ignore it
because you like
because
them.
you like that
That's
person.
true.
And I read online, so I think it was a song, or did I read it online? It was something like, the things that you ignore, the red flags that you ignore, become the reason why the relationship doesn't work out in the first place.
That's definitely true.
Like, for example, if someone is, like I said, constantly talk about their ex or constantly have that ex baggage, I guarantee you the reason you guys won't work out is because of that ex baggage.
100%.
That's definitely true.
I think for me, some red flags for me that I would probably not ignore now that I have had experience: lying, unprovoked lying.
Unprovoked weird lying, right?
Like, you didn't need to lie to me about that.
Yeah.
You could literally just tell me and I'll look past it. I'd rather you tell me the truth and it be bad truth than you lying. One thing about me is lying. If you lie to me, you can do anything to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? How do I know you're not a serial killer in the making? You're out here lying to me. Another red flag is just finding random weird stuff in that house that you're in.
Like unexplainable things.
Unexplainable.
Right,
Like,
okay.
it's like, let's say you clean that house before and then when you next go there, that thing is missing because, it's like,
Where's
Where
it
did
gone?
it go?
where's it gone?
I think it's just communication. Like, if your communication's whack, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah.
But
But
I
you
can't
know-
stay long.
You know what though, when we say like our communication is key and we get mad that people don't communicate, do you feel like you as a person, when you're in a relationship, you communicate
Yes.
effectively? Do you?
110%.
See, I don't. I always say communication is key and all of this, but quite frankly, when I sit back and actually evaluate what I've been like in past relationships, my communication is not that great. I'm the type of person, I would prefer to be angry and you not know why I'm angry and you've got to work it out yourself.
That's
Nah,
bad.
It
I
sounds
think,
ridiculous, but
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff I do.
if I'm angry, I'm going to tell you.
it
And
goes-
we're going to find a solution.
It goes by who you are. If you're an extrovert, I think it's easier for you to come out with why
Yeah.
you're angry. If you're an introvert like myself, there's some I do lack when it comes to
Yeah,
communication.
definitely.
I really do, but I work on it. Like, if that person is understanding of me, they know there and then that this person has got blah blah blah, and it's not an excuse for me to have bad communication, but at the same time, it's like it's a what's it called, a hurdle that you have to come across you know, and work on it. And I personally think my communication is getting better now than it was before. Do you know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
When I'm angry, I'm able to express that I'm angry. Like, I'm angry at you, bro. Like, you've done this, A, B, C, D. But there's certain things, like, we've come to, like, a generation that's quite manipulative. It's not even a generation quite manipulative. People are manipulative in general. And they make you feel like you being angry is a problem. So
like
then
exactly.
You suppress your feelings. You cannot communicate with this person because every time you try to communicate with this person, you're literally hitting a brick wall.
When you try to communicate, it's why do you want to start an argument?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like, I'm not trying to argue. I'm trying to talk.
I'm trying to discuss with you where we're trying to work together here. You're in a relationship. It takes two to tango.
Yeah.
50-50. And the same way I communicate to you is the same way you should be communicating to me. And if I'm doing something wrong and you feel like your communication is better than mine, you should tell me and say, oh, you should do this, you should do that, and I'll take a leaf from your book. Do you know what I mean? But in this thing that we call pandemic,
parallelogram,
I feel like a lot of people suppress how they feel, and their bad communication is not because of them, it's because of the person that they're dealing with, and they'd rather not start an argument with that person. And that's when it comes to a point where it's like, I'm not going to tell you how I feel, you work it out yourself. In the long run, it turns out that a person was actually in the wrong. They knew what they were doing, but because they've suppressed you, now they're just going to move on with their life.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a big red flag. If somebody is gaslighting you, then oh boy, leave that man alone.
You know what a big red flag for me is now? You know, guys that constantly talk about money. Constantly talk about money, constantly talk about moves, constantly talk about being humble.
Yeah,
and that was a
there's
shock.
actually a saying is that if you are actually humble, you
don't need to constantly say that you're humble if you're humble.
Not even constantly. Like, people that are humble are just humble. They don't even know that they're humble.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? They just keep it moving. Do you know what I mean? They just embrace it. They just do their humble stuff and keep it moving. But somebody that constantly reminds you that they're humble, trust me, that person ain't humble. That person wants to remind you that I did this for you, so you should be able to do this for me. And that's not a thing. In the Bible, it actually says, don't give to expect something back. Just give out of love. If you get something back, you get something back.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So people not be reading the Bible these days. You know?
The whole talk about money constantly thing for me, it just irks me. Or you know,
it makes me sick.
I can't go too deep into this, but I know what I'm talking about, okay?
It gives me evil vibes.
I just don't like it, especially when they're constantly talking about, oh, do you know what? I made 30 racks last week, and then the day after, oh, yo.
30 racks?
This is how people get robbed, you know?
What are you doing?
Sister. Another one would be like, oh, like, what? So how much do you think this watch was?
No,
some of these people will be like, I made 30 bags last week, but they live in one bedroom apartment.
Your mum's house doesn't have carpet.
What I don't like.
Your mum's sleeping on a mattress, like, bro.
Your mum's had the same leather sofa since 2005.
Your mum's never literally left the country, and you're out here flying to Dubai 24/7.
Boying it.
No, that's not boying it. That's facts.
It's facts.
Look at the people that literally flying to Dubai right now, and look where the mum is based.
That's true,
bro. If you had that much money, you would have moved your mum out time ago. I know if I get 20 grand, what I'm gonna do for my mum. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna look out for my mum. I'm gonna be like, Mum, do you want at least 5k? Mum, do you want to move house? Mum, do you want to put a mortgage down on this house that you're living in and it could become your house? Do you know what I mean? Something, you know, giving back to the community. But people be out here making 20 racks to buy Rolex.
And then go show off to gal every 5 minutes.
But
the same girls that they complain about.
They've only got about £10 to their name.
Oh my God. Sharon, you just touched on a topic, right?
Oh, so she's sucking money.
Why is it men, for example, they go out of their way to make big money, right? To spend big on like nice clothes, nice watches, nice this, to attract women clearly. But then when a woman comes to them because of the stuff that they're advertising, she's automatically a gold digger. How is it meant to work out?
It doesn't make
sense.
How
does that make sense?
This is where it comes in. Like, it actually doesn't make sense. The same women that you're complaining about, oh, she's here for is my money, ABC. My friend, you're walking around wearing Moncler 24/7. Different Moncler for different day of the week. You have different watch for different day of the week. You're promoting yourself. You're literally selling yourself like one vagabond to these women, and you're surprised when these women come to you for your money. Like, bro,
make it make sense.
Like, practice what you preach, innit?